A textbook definition will tell you that a scoping review maps out the existing research on a topic. But what does that all actually mean? Scoping reviews are a popular review method amongst my master's students, but many of them don't actually understand it beyond the textbook definition. So let's clear that out. Think of scoping reviews like being a tour guide on a bus, and the tourists, well, they are your readers. Your job is to describe the landscape of the research to them. You point out all the tall mountains to the left. That's an area where there's a huge volume of research that's already been done. You point out the gaping hole in the landscape on the right of the bus, and that's a gap where almost nothing has been researched. And you describe the general scenery, the trends and patterns that keep showing up across different studies. That's what a scoping reviewer does with a body of literature. You are not testing a hypothesis. You are not weighing evidence to reach a conclusion. You are surveying the terrain and reporting back on what's there, what's missing, and what shape it's in. So when do you actually use one? First, there needs to be enough research to review. If only 2 or 3 studies exist on your topic, a scoping review won't tell you much. You need a body of literature substantial enough to map. You may find this a little contradictory because you're probably thinking, if part of the scoping review is to identify gaps, then it would make sense to use it when there is limited research as well. And you're right, because you can find scoping reviews with very little papers. But if you're a student submitting a PhD or master's dissertation, you have nothing to synthesize and very limited ways to demonstrate the marking criteria. So make sure you check if a review is viable before you even propose this. Thirdly, and this is the one that students often get wrong, look at your review question. Are you asking what has been published and how something has been researched? That's scoping review territory. Or are you asking about what the evidence actually shows works? That's a systematic review question, not a scoping one. Now, why does this matter? A scoping review does 3 jobs very well. It can identify where the field is ready for a systematic review and where it isn't yet. It tells you what needs more research, which guides other researchers on what to research next within the field, and it demarcates the current limits of research. So you know exactly where the edge of the current research is. But, and this is where I see the most misuse, there is a hard limit to what a scoping review can tell you. It cannot tell you the best way or the most effective way to do something. It is not built to judge or appraise the quality of the research it maps. It can tell you how something has been researched. It cannot tell you how something should be done or reliably how something has actually been done in practice. That distinction matters. Scoping research is not the same as scoping practice. If you want to know what actually works in the real world, that requires empirical research, not a scoping review of what's already been published about it. If you want a deeper dive into conducting reviews, check the playlist link. And if you're stuck on your own methodology and want it looked at directly, that's exactly what my one-on-one consultations are for. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!